I got a little confused. This is my first time going live, and I would like to say Happy New Year to everybody. And I hope you guys had a great New Year's and blessings for 2026. I hope you guys do accomplish everything, all your goals that you guys set forth to do. But I just want to come on here really quick because I was looking last night. I happened to join according to Ali's live panel, and it was a great live panel, by the way, you guys. And surprisingly, Will, aka West Indie Collections man or baby daddy, whatever he you want to call him, he happened to join the panel along with Marcus from Atlanta Street Interviews. And basically, Will wanted to know what was, according to Ali's issue with him. And basically, according to Ali, was basically addressing him, basically saying, your baby mom's is online asking for outrageously amounts of money, $5,200 in rent, as begging for food, saying she's starving and begging people to send her $50. And why is this so when you are her baby dad? She should not even be online begging, especially for food. So she was asking Will, why is she begging for food? Like, what are you doing for her? Are you helping buying groceries for her? Because she should not be begging for food. And Will basically responded and said, you know, giving her, instead of like giving her, sorry, my phone's blowing up this morning, but instead of answering the question directly, like according to Ali said, he was kind of dancing around the question, and responding in riddles, basically saying, well, if I bought a month's worth of groceries, would that last? So, according to Ali's thinking that he's basically saying he has bought her, a month worth of groceries. And this is when Will basically said, no, that's not the case. I'm not saying I bought it. Just kind of dancing, not really addressing the question. So Ali's asking in a different way. Did you answer the question? If you're going to answer it, we don't have no business on this panel discussing anything. So she basically asked a question again. Will basically said, I did buy her groceries. A matter of fact, the I guess the DoorDash people or whatever the case is, Uber Eats, whatever, that came to our house, that was me. I'm the one who delivered groceries to the house for her. So, at that point, um, you know, he basically, I think he also went into saying, yeah, the video that you were abusing her or talking trash, yeah, that was me. And, according to Ali, had to check him and said, no, I didn't say anything about anything. All I said is this was the big supporter that had the groceries delivered. So anyways, according to Ali's asking her, about her West Indie Collections registry, saying that like, why is she asking for over 160 things? Like, are you helping with that? Have you helped? Does she really need all of these things? And so forth. So not too long after Will joined the panel, Marcus from Street Interview joins the panel. And he basically says, you know, um, hey, Will, I commend you, starting off with a positive, which I think is really great, to kind of get the other person comfortable. And then he basically said, look, I just had a baby and I would not, and this is Marcus speaking, I would not personally have my baby moms online begging for anything. And you know, I would be embarrassed to have her on there begging. And Will He basically said, basically in a nutshell, say, I can't make her do or stop doing what she wants to do. This is what she's choosing to do. It's not like I'm not helping her. And, Marcus is saying, but she's begging for food. Why is this so if you're helping her? What have you helped her with? And then Chris is, sorry. And what's his name? Will is basically, responding in riddles again, basically saying, well, is it because she has zero food in her refrigerator, or is it food that she just doesn't want to eat? And he's basically claiming that he has never seen West Indian collections without any food whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? So he's basically in a nutshell saying that West Indian Collections is lying about not having food in her refrigerator, and that he does help her. And, you know, and she just, basically is untruthful, truthful about not having food. And then, basically, they just basically kind of, told him about himself, saying this is your baby mom's. Although you guys are not married, you need to treat her like as if she is your wife. She should not, be begging anyone. Send her $100 here and there, and, if you're choosing to be intimate with somebody, it is your responsibility to make sure she's good, especially while she's carrying, your seed. And, of course, Will is, making excuses, basically saying, well, we're not married, and, just making excuses for it. And according to Ali, is basically calling him out, saying, like, you are married. Basically, that's what it says in the Bible. If you're basically, choosing to lay up with somebody, then you guys become one flesh. So, yeah, you're not legally married, but spiritually, you are giving your body to someone, which makes you one. So, of course, Will is, basically making excuses and, basically saying, well, she's not my wife, such and such and forth. So, yeah, so basically they started, asking him about her rent. And Will basically, I felt when they were asking Will about the rent and about the vouchers, he was really stuttering. I think Will knows more than what he's letting on about the rent. And in a way, I feel like Will, when he was with West Indie Collection, he says that they're no longer in contact with each other, that she blocked him. But I think Will was in on it too when it came to the begging, because he knows, like Marcus says, you are her man, right? You've been with her for many of years right now. How do you not know how much her rent is? So Will's like, oh, I think it's around 1,200 and something. I don't know, which I think is a lie. I don't think West Indies rent is $1,200. She would have been evicted by now. She's not working. YouTube videos is not hitting 1,200 like that. Maybe she's getting close to the amount. I just personally don't believe that West Indie Collections rent is $1,200. I just don't. And I think that Will knows more than what he's letting on. And he's basically saying, her rent is around 1,200. But if that's the case, why is she begging for $5,200 in rent when someone, I guess, donated? Her big supporter gave her $3,000 a couple months ago, and she said she was caught up on her rent. And this was back in November, October, November. She said she was caught up with her rent. Now all of a sudden she owes 5,200. So something's not adding up right. So yeah, it was a really great panel. Um, according to Ali, she, did really great asking Will and controlling her panel, because Will, of course, tries talking over people. And, according to Ali, was letting it be known, this is my channel. You're not going to dominate my channel. You know what I'm saying? So she basically put Will in check. And, yeah, that's pretty much, you know, in a nutshell, what happened. I feel like I think it was, even though I don't really care for Will too much because he's full of excuses, but I do know that Will does seem to love his children. I have to give him that. It seems that he may not be a great partner, but it does seem like he does love his children. And I think it was very brave of him to even join the panel. He didn't really say much, he was dancing and talking in riddles, but he did join the panel. And I thought that was braver than what West Indy did. I think West Indy should have been the one to join the panel and explain to people why she needs this amount of money. But I feel like Will, he was brave to join the panel and he was brave enough to hear everybody out. So, kudos to him. But yeah, you guys go ahead and check out According to Ali. I think it's her live video just came out last night, of course. And it was just a great video, you guys. And, check it out. I think Will had a live video today as well. So what I took from it is that Will is helping West Indies Collection. I don't know how much, but I guess he is helping. I think he should help her more, of course, but it is what it is. You know, some clarification, not much. I think Will did mention that he does want to join according to Ali's panel again. I think it was going back to Marcus. He's really good at what he does too, because he was really he knows how to use psychology when he does speak by mixing a positive before he goes in for the kill. So that was definitely very interesting to see Marcus work. Um, so according to Ali and Marcus, they both, you know, did their thing, asking all these hard questions that Will never wants to really answer. They did ask Will too, did he regret getting West Indies Collection pregnant? And he said he chose to decline. And Marcus basically said, well, declining means yes, basically, in a nutshell. I noticed at West Indies Collection, she's not really making videos like she normally does. So I don't know. Will says they're no longer in contact with each other. Um, so, we just have to sit back and see what happens, you guys, between, Will and West Indies Collections. And hopefully West Indies Collection gets it together, and gets the proper help that she needs, because begging people is not going to, will not get her far, because everyone knows what she's about. No one's going to donate. No one's going to cash app like they used to. So at this point, West Indies Collection needs to just stop, go get help from the county, get a job, something, shit. Take Will to, if she really feels that Will's not doing anything, then she needs to think of other things to make him do stuff, if you know what I mean. But anyways, you guys, I just wanted to give my reaction to According to Ali's video. And yeah, go ahead and check it out. You guys will really love it. It was very entertaining. Shout out to According to Ali. Shout out to Marcus. Shout out to Will, for doing your guys' thing. And until next time, you guys, bye.